I would love to see that clip or that transcript of him saying he wants to deport American citizens.
There is a clip online. I encourage people to just Google Donald Trump homegrown.
Right.
There's nothing that Fox News loves more than bald-faced lying. A close second would be Botox. And usually they just lie in peace, all to themselves in like a little echo chamber. They don't even dare to have Democratic lawmakers on because their sensitive sensibilities can't handle getting called out, and they start whining like spoiled little brats. You guys remember when Trump said he was going to deport homegrown criminals? He said it in the White House to the president of El Salvador in like a hushed whisper.
Homegrowns are next.
Fox must be implementing some sort of DEI policy where they're only hiring the dumbest people possible, because the way that Will Cain doesn't catch the memo here and just scrambles around after getting called on his bluff by Frost, oh, it's just too good. But first, I want to thank you guys for subscribing to Really American. And thank you for getting us to 500K, for joining the resistance against these lying scumbags.
I'm doing my part.
Now, I don't know if I'm just crazy, but I'm almost 1,000% sure that Trump says homegrown criminals are next in this clip. I mean, what do you hear?
Homegrowns are next. The homegrowns. You got to build about 5 more places. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm positive that all of you guys just heard what I did. That orange snotwad is trying to get Bukele to build more prisons so he can send citizens, American citizens, straight there. The way that raises hairs on the back of my neck, it should raise hairs on everyone's neck, except maybe the deranged and the demented. I'm not even sure which one Fox News is, maybe both. The way they're acting like they didn't even see it, it's absolutely crazy. And what's even crazier is that it's not the first time he said it, and it's not the first time he said it on Fox News. These people aren't even watching their own coverage. That's how shitty it is. And that's why independent media like Really American is so much better. Fox News themselves were the first ones to break the story that Trump wants to deport American homegrown criminals. He told us and Rachel Campos Duffy in an interview where he decided to try and speak Spanish.
America grande otra vez.
And by the way, I don't think we need anything other than this clip that I'm about to play for you as evidence during the impeachment trial. Because when a dictator tells you what he is, you better listen.
Great guy.
Could we use it for violent criminals, our own violent criminals?
I call them homegrown criminals.
Yes.
I mean, the
homegrowns.
The ones that grew up and something went wrong and they hit people over the head with a baseball bat. We have, and push people into subways just before the train gets there, like you see happening sometimes. We are looking into it and we want to do it. I would love to do that.
That is an absolutely insane thing for a sitting president to say. And Maxwell Frost has to be commended here because it must be like pulling teeth to talk to someone as airheaded as Will Cain. What do they mean they haven't heard Trump say he wants to deport criminals? He said it on their network. And Frost does a kick-ass job in this interview. I mean, perfectly countering each weird, half-assed argument that Cain kept trying to pull out of his butt. First, they try to act like it's no big deal.
He had a protected status, as you just read. And if he is to be detained and deported, there's a process he needs to go through. And that's the whole situation here. I'm not here to litigate even a very specific person. I'm here to talk about the fact that he represents a very big problem with this administration, that they have no problem scooping somebody up based on tattoos and vibes and sending them to a foreign country's prison. And then we have the commander talking about sending homegrowns next.
As if it isn't obvious how incredibly dangerous it is to have an avenue open for the government to arbitrarily disappear American citizens to foreign prisons just because they're criminals. Trump is a criminal. A fact that they argue is like political persecution, right? Like the conservatives always say, oh, they just like made up charges for Trump, which means they understand that somebody could be falsely convicted of something because of some political persecution. According to them, that's what happened to Trump. So how do they not understand that the government being able to send you to a foreign gulag just because you're a criminal is a bad thing? The MAGA mind has to be further studied by science because it is maddeningly stupid.
We want to make sure that we draw the line here at Kilmar Garcia because it's not just about him. It's about the fact that in the Oval Office, Donald Trump brought up that he wants to do the same thing to quote unquote homegrowns being U.S. citizens, a complete violation of our Constitution. I don't want to wait till it gets to that point. The reason I'm here as a Congressman representing Orlando, Florida, is because I've received hundreds and hundreds of calls and emails and mail from my constituents. I represent a lot of immigrants. I represent a lot of people who see themselves represented in this situation. They're saying, Congressman, do what you can now, because it's him today and it can be one of us tomorrow.
I want to dig in on that point. You've made that point several times, but before we move forward, I have to stop down with what you just said. Donald Trump's made a statement about wanting to deport American citizens. Do you have that in front of you? I've not seen that statement. Can you please quote where that comes from, that he would like to deport American citizens?
He said it in the Oval Office. He said he wants to go for homegrowns next, people born and raised in the United States. Citizens.
Do you have anything?
And then
do you have anything besides your word on that? I have not seen that. So beyond your word, do you have the source of that? I would love to see that clip or that transcript of him saying he wants to deport American citizens.
There is a clip online. I encourage people to just Google Donald Trump homegrown, deporting homegrown criminals. It is something he said in the Oval Office.
Well, you understand how television works. We have these fancy earpieces. I like to get very few instructions from my staff while you and I have a conversation, but we are in search of that clip as we speak. So as you and I have this conversation for the next several minutes, we'll be looking for that clip. But let's keep digging in on this idea.
The way he scrambles around, like, we're looking for the clip. We'll keep talking, but we're going to look for the clip. Yeah, you guys know what clip he's talking about. We all have seen the clip. The gaslighting here is off the charts. Seriously, check your carbon monoxide detectors, because there must be a freaking gas leak. Here we have Propaganda Ken to go along with Propaganda Barbie, telling us that he doesn't remember saying Trump say that. And then he has the gall to act like the team is frantically searching for the clip, but he knows good and damn well that clip is never going to air on Fox News. They're giving their audience the play for what to do when they're confronted by their liberal family members. What to do is they should claim that Trump never said it and then act dumb. And then to add a little irony on top of this idiot sandwich.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
Will Cain tried to save himself by claiming that Frost is being a hypocrite for caring about what SCOTUS ruled because he once disagreed with their ruling. I mean, he never, ever argued that someone should defy a court order, but here he is trying to get that as a gotcha or something.
July 1st of 2024, you posted on your website the following. It's up right now if anyone wants to go to your website. Our country and the world will now recognize this day as the day the Supreme Court of the United States effectively became an illegitimate, politically corrupt arm of the conservative right wing. That's when the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that Donald Trump had immunity from prosecution. And on that day, 10 months ago, you called the Supreme Court of the United States illegitimate. Here today, all of a sudden, you seem to be very dedicated, principled, in fact, to the simple rules of law, due process, and legitimacy of the court.
I still hold that the Supreme Court is very much skewed to the right and that there is corruption on the court. I do hold that today. But the fact that the court is so skewed to the right, and even then, they're still saying a complete decision, unanimous decision, that he needs to be brought home, shows that this shouldn't be a partisan issue. It should be a thing that Democrats, Republicans, everybody are coming behind. Bring the guy home so he can go through due process. That is what the Supreme Court, the conservative-leaning Supreme Court, said.
Yeah, it's like not even a gotcha. Even if Frost thinks that the Supreme Court is illegitimate, Will Cain doesn't. Will Cain is supposed to be for the Supreme Court. Well, your Supreme Court, Will Cain, just said that you're wrong. Trump is wrong. I mean, it's crazy that they thought they were going to be able to stump Frost on this. This Abrego Garcia case has been nothing but a flailing shit show for the Republicans. Their only defense is that he's a brown guy with tattoos, so you should be scared of him. Yeah, I don't think the Supreme Court is going to let that argument fly, but who knows, because I agree with Frost. They are the corrupt political arm of the Conservative Party. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.